Hello everyone. I figured it was time to give you an update on my shoe and boot collection, focusing first on my boots, which you can see here in row 1, as well as here in row 2, with a couple of highlights all the way down at the bottom there. I've tried to keep my collection at a quote-unquote sane level. Sanity is very much in the eye of the beholder. As you can see, we have a number of shoes and boots. This is my entire collection here, along with those guys right there. I think most sane people would probably have a collection that was pretty much just those shoes there, but I have gone the route of many of us in this community and very much enjoy enjoying boots. I also try to present my boots to myself, because this is my closet, as you can see here. And by presenting my boots, I can enjoy them a little bit more. I slipped up there, I said belts, and I will say that this is coming. I'm going to talk you through some of my belt collection at some point in the near future. But for now, we're going to really focus on, hey, there's a space here. There's a space for a pair of shoes. Yes. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, first pair here, Crew Nonpareil Ashway boot. This is the original Ashway that I designed with Kenwin Small and was then put to use and put together by Gina Bootmaker. This is my own design, using Veltrin construction, a side panel that has this up-swooping profile. One of my favorite boots, partly because I designed it, but just because I think it looks really great. Made out of Merriam horsebutt. The next 3 boots that you can see here, here, and here are from renowned bootmaker Flame Panda. This is a boot that I got amongst my very first boots when it took about 3 months to get boots from Flame Panda. This is his renowned mock toe in a horse stripe leather from Horween, which is basically a horsebutt leather without any of the shell cordovan membrane in it. And that's what makes this horse strip. The Horween tannery specifically removes all the cordovan and separates the remaining horse butt and creates these horse stripe or horse strip leathers. This is a Shinky oiled horse butt leather, which includes both portions of shell as well as just standard horse butt. Classic leather that has now become extremely popular amongst shoe and boot enthusiasts. And this is his service boot from Flame Panda, another beautiful model. Just you can see how well these boots age. And then finally, a pair of Tochigi leather, natural Tochigi leather, which is a beautiful supple leather that doesn't really, form any hard creases. And this is the Flame Panda Chelsea boot here. So beautiful whole cut Chelsea boot that makes up my Flame Panda collection. And next up is a pair from Midas boots. I actually have several pairs from Midas. This is my Vanquish boot, which is his take on the Edward Green Galway. By his, I'm referring to Emil Putra, the maker of Midas and Winson shoemakers. And this is just a beautiful crossover boot that has some very high dress-like DNA. It's built on the Maryland last, which you can see is a beautiful soft almond toe last here. The other pair I have from readily viewable here is this beautiful Spala Derby in a tobacco floater leather from Midas Bootmaker. Great way to get into the game if you're interested in local leathers. Beautiful make there. Then we have our classic benzene whole cut Chelsea, built on the Kujong last in a reverse oiled Latigo leather, which has got a really nice ridgeway sole. One of my favorite makeups I got on the used market. Newer boot in my collection, which I've recently featured on my channel, is Quan Shoemaker. Quan has become well regarded, well known for really high quality makeups and constructions. You could see the precision of the stitch work done here, and this beautiful last on his derby boot, which has a more aggressive profile. Kind of reminds me a bit of, say, White Cloud boots, I guess. High quality boot. And we got a classic here. This is the Viberg 2040 service boot, built using a Merriam horsebutt leather. I believe this is a waxed horse, but I actually think this might be Toscanello. It's very similar to my other Toscanello pairs. On a commando sole on their 2040 last, which is one of my favorite lasts. It's a little lower volume last, so for those of you who have big volume feet, you may not want to go there. Next up right here is a pair of Luos Jet, the spin-off boot brand from XBSS Boots Factory, a little bit more affordable option for those of you not wanting to pay as much price. This is essentially a clone of the Viberg military style boot that they come out with. They've done some collabs with Himmel Brothers to make this particular style, Canadian style service boot. The Canadian style boots from their makeups from the World War II era had this more straight edge to the facing rather than the more curved boondocker look. So very similar to a boondocker, but Luos Jet does a really good job with their constructions. Then we can see Antonio Macariello, which I featured here, is a wine. It doesn't really show up great on this color lighting, but a beautiful makeup in 360 Norwegies braided stitching. You can see just wonderful work done here. Then we jump over to England for the Edward Green participant. This is their Cranley boot, which is the hand-sewn apron stitch boot. It's a country boot, beautiful makeup. And then we jump to Norway, and this is Ostmo. For those of you who are not aware of Ostmo, they are now mainly producing boots through Iron Boots. Iron Boots being based out of China, one of the best boot makers in the world, executing the designs of Lars. But this particular pair was made by Lars. Lars is the founder of Osmo Boots and a tremendous boot maker in his own right, but just not into making too many boots these days because it is a stressful process. Speaking of Iron Boots, these are my two pairs of Iron Boots. This is their Pitman in a natural wax bull hide, and their Devil Dog, which is their cap toe brogued service boot, done in a more elegant last. And this is in a Merriam washed horsehide leather, which is more of this grainy leather that has more of a propensity to roll than to form creases. Really fond of that. Now we're heading into Indonesia to Onderhoed. This is one of my favorite service boot makeups from Onderhoed. This is a natural unglazed waxed shell cordovan from Horween Tannery, built using his famous double row Veltruin construction. And then we have a pair of lace to toe boots in a commando sole from Onderhoed, using a Toshigi leather. Beautiful makeup there as well. So great makeups from Onderhoed, still considered one of the very best in the world. If we hop down 2 levels, you can see a boot, an Oxford boot, my one pair of Oxford boots from Ichigo Ichie, a renowned bespoke maker who is taking the world by storm with his ready-to-wear line, which I believe is made in Vietnam by a maker there who's helping execute his ready-to-wear line. Beautiful makeup here. We're going to get to the rest of these shoe models later. You can see I got a fair number of dress shoe makeups, including these beautiful set of long wings, one of my favorite styles. And if we go all the way down here, we're going to get to a few boots that are boot shoe kind of styles. This is from Midas, their very unique Leger derby, which has this almost don't know the best way to describe it. It kind of reminds me of the para boot. Michael has that kind of funky apron to it. Really cool makeup. Then I have their plain toe derby in a beautiful leather from J.F.&J. Baker. And then we're getting into the Winston lineup here. And amongst Winston, I have a couple boots. This one here, which is my one Jodhpur boot. This is a short Jodhpur in a shinky oiled horsebutt leather from Winston Shoemaker. Jumping back over to Midas. This is the Thunderboot 2 from Midas. Beautiful makeup there. And finally, we're heading into our last row here. This is a beautiful makeup that I have yet to wear. I'm saving it for the Thunderdome in a Grigio leather from Prof Barnett. Very unique welt stitch construction here. And a Grigio leather from Merriam, which should patina and turn into a off-white gray leather. Beautiful leather there. And put that back. Lest I forget, another boot shoe from New River Boot, based out of the US. This is a beautiful rugged shoe built on a Vibram 2021 wedge cavity sole. Beautiful makeup in a Toscanello horsehide leather. US based maker, just really kicking it up a notch there. And if I don't forget to peek around here, you see this beautiful Roper style side zip boot from King's Boots. One of my favorite makeups from King's. Just really top-notch work there. If we head over to this last row, I got a couple more to show you. This one being one of the highlights of my collection from Fortis Boots. This is the Commando Sole Seamless Heel Derby boot. They call it their Chukka boot. It's more of a derby style boot, but it has elements of a Chukka design, but with a seamless heel. So really just two pieces of leather. Really cool makeup here. And finally, Dennis from Custom Craft Workshop, based out of Germany, with this beautiful service style boot. One of his earliest models that I still love and adore to this day. I have a few more boots, but they're down in the garage, so they're going to have their own attention. Those are my more daily rugged wears. These are the boots that I tend to be spending more time taking care of, while those are the ones that get heavier wear from Whites, Nicks, XBXS, those types of makeups. And there we go. I think that pretty much covers the boot collection.